Hello, everyone! Welcome back to a new episode of Card Connection, CGC Cards' weekly live show talking everything new and exciting with our favorite hobby. I will say 7:59 to 8 o'clock always feels like the longest minutes waiting just to get started. But yeah, if you all can believe it, we are already on episode number 5. It's our 5th week doing Card Connection, and I appreciate you all joining in tonight. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. We have something new and exciting to Card Connection tonight. We have our first interview. It will be a recorded thing that I'll be showing you all, featuring Azul Garcia Griego, Mr. Azul GG, one of our Team CGC Cards competitors, as the team is going to the 2024 San Antonio Regional Championships for Pokemon this weekend. So the team's traveling, no one could drop in live, but I do have that special pre-recorded message for you all for our first guest spotlight tonight. Very exciting, very fun. But yeah, we do have, of course, our commands, our special weekly commands, and any important links you all may be looking for CGC Cards. So go ahead and use ! commands in chat, and that Streamlabs bot will go ahead and show you all available commands for tonight. A few special ones, I believe, like the Registry Awards, still mentioning that as the deadline is not yet approached, and also MegaCon, because I have some interesting news for MegaCon Orlando, which brings us into our first bit of new stuff here. What's new, Card Crew? We got CGC Cards around the world. We are done with shows for 2023. If you all can believe it, next Friday is going to be the 22nd. Already almost January, but right at the beginning of January, we do have Hawaii PopCon. That is January 6th and 7th, 2024 at the Neil S. Blaisdell Center in Honolulu, Hawaii. At the end of January, January 26th through the 28th, Culture Collision Trade Show, which is outside of Atlanta in Marietta, Georgia at the Cobb Galleria Center. And new to mention tonight is MegaCon Orlando, February 1st through the 4th. A little earlier in the year than MegaCon normally is. MegaCon, at least when I've been, is usually end of March into April. So yeah, February 1st through the 4th already at the Orange County Convention Center in Orlando, Florida. Now for MegaCon, something super exciting, offering to do with CGC Comics. Cards, unfortunately, doesn't have a special label, but there's a limited edition exclusive label that you can get if you are submitting at the show for comics, featuring a really cool alligator. So if you guys go ahead and check out the article by using command MegaCon in chat, you can see a picture of that really fun label. But at all of these shows, CGC will be accepting cards, comics, home video, and video game collectibles for grading. And speaking of grading, still running through the end of the year, a thank you promotion for all of you watching. Until December 31st, the coupon code Card Connection will get you $50 off of a premium or an elite tier membership. Now, through CGC Cards, you can get a membership that is completely free of charge and submit your cards. However, if you want to have a higher level membership, it is paid, but you do get different promotions, discounts off of your submissions, and also the ability to submit to other verticals like comics. If you're someone that collects both cards and comics and wants those items preserved for your collection, we'll need a higher level membership to submit to comics and other verticals. Like I said, cards, you can have a completely free membership. Very nice for cards to have that, but not quite the same. So if you are looking to get a membership, make sure to use code Card Connection. That'll get you $50 off of the premium or elite membership. Then also getting into more CGC news. Do have the Registry Awards coming in January. So the deadline to get your sets all nice and ready to go for judging is December 29th. So go ahead and use command registry to get the article with all the information on that. So if you have any questions about the Registry Awards, read that, give you more information than I can give you off the cuff here. But yeah, Set Registry Awards be exciting. Exciting to see what ends up winning the best sets when that announcement is likely to be made at the end of January is the current targets. But yes, deadline for getting your sets updated for judging is December 29th. I am already thinking in January mode. I want to say January for everything, but we do have a deadline actually for January. Going into talking about Signature Series. Current Signature Series offering is the Simone Bianchi. That deadline is less than a month away on January 5th to receive any send-in items. You may recognize that name from sets like Marvel Masterpieces, also Marvel Comics, done some DC comic book art as well. But yeah, Simone Bianchi Signature Series running now currently to get your orders in for that with send-in arrival deadline of beginning of January, January 5th. You can use command Signature Series to get the article giving all the information about pricing, sending things in, all you would need to know about that Signature Series offering with CGC Cards and CGC Comics. Moving into some hobby news, starting off with some sports. For hockey, I got one cool thing for you all, cool tidbit here. Local team Tampa Bay Lightning. So, player Nikita Kucherov is the first player to reach 50 points so far this season. Last night, Tampa did have a 7-4 win over the Edmonton Oilers. So, congrats to Kucherov. Like I said, that first player this season to reach that milestone of 50 points. Moving into some soccer news. Panini has announced that they have renewed their exclusive partnership with FIFA. That partnership has been dating back over 50 years so far. And according to Panini's official press release on their website, Panini will remain as FIFA's exclusive partner for official stickers, trading cards, trading card games, and digital collectibles, including the 2026 World Cup, 2030 World Cup, 2027 Women's World Cup, and other FIFA competitions and events. The release also said that products will undergo a modern transformation and incorporate innovative digital integrations for new fan groups, and that new products will be launching worldwide in the coming months. So it'll be interesting to see what Panini has in store for soccer collectors around the world. Of course, now having an extension to their partnership with FIFA. So, as you all will see for World Cup products coming out over the next several years will be Panini products. Moving into basketball, a little bit of activity this week with Draymond Green. He has been indefinitely suspended for striking Yusuf Nurkic. So that decision was made by the league, taking into account his history of repeated unsportsmanlike conduct and acts. And in regards to the length of that suspension, of course being indefinite for the time being, NBA Executive Vice President and Head of Basketball Operations, Joe Dumars, stated that the reason we don't have a number is because that the help he needs to get, getting himself better, is what's most important. That was stated in an interview on Thursday, December 14th. So that is the latest news I can find on that. Hopefully Green is able to get the help he needs and will return to the league better than ever before at some points. We don't know just yet, of course, indefinite suspension for the time being. Then getting into baseball news, be like, Allie, why are you dressed like candy? You look like cotton candy right now. This is my cool Expos hat. Some baseball news this week, of course. Bowman draft coming out with those big Brady cards. So that release on Tuesday, December 12th with special Montreal Expos jersey Tom Brady autographs and inserts. The Superfractor autograph was pulled on release day in a break, but there are still other autographs out there and other numbered parallels of that card for collectors to chase. Currently, there is a $500,000 bounty on the Tom Brady Gold Auto number 12 of 50 in particular, of course, for his jersey number. So if you open up one of those, the cards themselves, we'd love for you to grade it here with us at CGC Cards for your collection. But yes, insane Brady collectors love football cards, but now getting into those Expos baseball cards. But yeah, there is a $500,000 bounty outstanding on the number 12 of 50 autograph from Bowman Draft. Bowman Draft, of course, being a prospect product. Top prospects from the set include, but are not limited to, pretty strong offering in Bowman Draft this year. But Wyatt Langford for the Rangers, Max Clark for the Tigers, and Matt Shaw for the Cubs are some of the prospects you want to be taking a look out for opening up that product. Other big baseball news that dropped, of course, the day after The show weekend, of course, last weekend, it was announced Ohtani has signed a $700 million contract with the Dodgers. So that is $70 million a year with a $68 million a year deferral to go ahead and give the team the best chances of assembling a world-class team and a dynastic legacy. So very interesting to see what other moves the Dodgers will be making going into next season. Definitely going to be crazy to see how baseball ends up unfolding next year. Some cool news out of Topps, very sneakily. Topps UK dropped the Disney 100 Chrome product on Wednesday, the 13th. So that was first seen on Topps UK. Disney 100 Chrome advertised 4 numbered parallels a box. You could get Super Fractors, Rare Mickey and Friends cards numbered 23, Platinum Character 1-of-1s, and printed quad and dual autographs of favorite Disney characters. Of course, not actual signatures, but printed signatures, multis you can pull out of that product. Interesting. I'd like to see some pictures of those single cards online. Take a look at it. It reminded me on first glance of some of the Disney 100 products we got out of Asia earlier in 2023. So I'm curious to see Topps' spin on it in all of the chrome color parallels. Moving into some Pokemon news. Some of the rarest ever English stamp promos are popping up and releasing in Southeast Asia. Pokemon has been awarding English stamped promos in Southeast Asian tournaments. November and December yielded a stamped Qianpao EX. So the top 4 of each age division at the regional championships for Singapore, the Philippines, and Malaysia each got a promo featuring the country's event logo. So that made these cards having only 12 copies of each in existence at all. So definitely really rare on that Qianpao EX. However, the events also had a participation for 3 rounds or more participation promo of Iono. So that one is also highly sought after by collectors, although of course it's not limited to only 12 copies on those Ionos. Still very, very sought after card, incredibly playable, and a lot of fans of that particular character. Pokemon news, we of course touched on it a little bit earlier, but the San Antonio Regional Championships are upon us in the competitive Pokemon TCG scene, December 15th through 17th at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center in San Antonio, Texas. This weekend, best of luck to the Team CGC Cards members attending, and of course, you can check out the official live stream from Pokemon on their YouTube channel or their Twitch channel. If you all would like to take in the action and potentially even see some of our team members in feature matches on those live streams. Very excited to check that out this weekend and see how the meta continues to develop. Last event, Lost Box did take down the event. Hasn't happened in a little bit here in the States. Curious to see what ends up unfolding this weekend. All right, so that covers all of our news today. We're going to be getting on into talking about some new releases. Of course, we touched on Bowman Draft. That did release on Tuesday. Really cool that they had it release on the 12th, although stuff doesn't normally release on Tuesdays. But of course, for Brady, with that 12. On a Wednesday release, we did get Heritage High Number Baseball, which we do have a box we'll be opening up here tonight. Brand new Rittenhouse Archives, Game of Thrones, Art and Images, and Upper Deck AEW Wrestling 2023. Friday, today, the 15th, we did see Wise Shorts Guilty Gear Strive, an English edition original release, Topps Chrome Black Baseball, and 23-24 Upper Deck Artifacts Hockey. So, lots of new products this week. Expect to see a lot more going into the end of the year, trying to finish out a lot of 2023 products, although we always do find 2023 year stuff releasing in 2024. Always still going to have some products coming out the next year with the last year's date and season stuff in it. So, Sue's asking if anyone's broken any boxes in chat. What have you enjoyed most this week for releases, chat? I'm curious to see. Kimosobe is saying, open up a Paradox Rift box on Monday. Very nice, very nice. I've opened up just a little bit of that set myself. I really should get the individual cards for my collection, but I can't help myself. I'm just like, oh, just get a couple packs here and there. I'm surrounded by too much cardboard that you all can't see because of the green screen. But all right, before we get into these openings today, which we do have Guilty Gear Strive and a box of Heritage High Number, I'm going to go ahead and watch our interview, get into our guest spotlight with Azul GG. So I hope you all are tuned in and ready to watch this interview. Very, very kind person. Always great to interact with Azul. You can, of course, check him out here on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter. Lots of different social medias that we will discuss in the interviews. Take a look.
Thank you, everyone, for joining here. Special guest Azul joining us tonight. Now, those of you that do follow competitive Pokemon will recognize him, but those of you that don't, Azul here is a two-time international champion, four-time regional champion. You can find him on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter by the same name, and also weekly on the Uncommon Energy podcast with friend, competitor, and oftentimes caster Chip Ritchie. Azul, welcome. Thank you for joining us here on Card Connection. Appreciate you taking the time to come by and speak with everyone tonight.
Talk for a bit.
Now, Azul is one of our very own Team CGC Cards members, and the team will be out at the 2024 San Antonio Regional Championships this weekend in Texas. So this is recorded a little bit in advance. But Azul, we want to know, what do you expect to see at the event? And has the team definitively decided what they're going to play just quite yet?
No, we haven't quite decided what we're going to play yet. We usually don't decide until like the night before. We have like some rough ideas. I like Charizard. Grant is always a big fan of Mew, still is. Always tries to like come up with a reason why we think we should play. Why he thinks we should play Mew. Caleb's a little bit more up in the air, but yeah, we have some decks like we like, then we don't like going to the tournament as always. Like I said, Charizard, Mew, I guess are maybe like the top two. But yeah, we never really decided until like literally the night before the tournament. And as far as like what to expect, probably a lot of Miraidon, a lot of Charizard. Guardy's been like a top deck for a long time now, but I think it's coming down a little bit. Just Iron Hands is kind of actually making its move on the format. Miraidon, of course, plays that and has been really, really popular. And then like now Lost Zone decks are starting to play it. The Lost Piles or whatever people are calling it have the Iron Hands in there as well. So it's kind of tough for Guardy right now. It's kind of tough for Guardy. So Guardy, even though maybe the most powerful deck in the format for the current meta, it's looking tough. So yeah, Miraidon and Charizard are definitely the top two right now.
All right. Now, of course, you've been to a lot of regionals in your time, but for people watching who have never been to a regional, what's it like? Now, what's the general experience? Of course, that'll vary between, how well your performance is, like how long you're playing, but what's it like in general at an event like this?
It's really big. It's actually kind of funny because it's like a lot of people, I think it's a little bit of a shock to people how big regionals are. And like when I went to my first regional back in 2010, there's like 130 people, 150 people maybe. But nowadays we're getting, I don't know, this one's going to have like probably 2,000 Masters TCG competitors. And then you've got the juniors and seniors. You've got the video game, Pokemon Go as well, I believe. I don't know if Pokemon Go is at all of them, to be honest. Not quite as many competitors in the Pokemon Go. But yeah, and even like the video game scene has been blowing up a lot more recently post-COVID as well. So those are pretty big as well. So it's huge. Like it's like massive event. So I think it's just kind of a shock when people actually go to their first regional. They don't really understand how big it is if you've never been to one before. But yeah, it's just a lot of Pokemon, a lot of people getting together to enjoy some Pokemon competition.
Awesome. Now, I unfortunately haven't been able to go to a regional event, but even if I don't play, I am looking forward to at least going out and taking a look at everything, maybe playing in some side events later in 2024 at the Orlando Regional, since that's not too far here from where CGC is located.
That's going to be that might be the biggest one of the year, to be honest. That one, or I mean, Texas is big. We're at like 2,400 TCG competitors right now. It'll probably be around like 22 at the actual event from people who don't show up. But Orlando, I think, will be, as long as they have the space, as long as they get enough venue space, it might be the biggest one of the year.
I think Orlando last year set the record for highest attendance, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think it was set after that, though. It was just whatever one had the biggest venue space, because they all sold out. Like, they all sold out last year. So it was just whatever one had the biggest venue space was going to be the biggest one last year. We're kind of in a similar boat this year. So it's just whoever gets the biggest venue with the most space will probably be the biggest one of the year.
Yeah, Pokemon competitive TCG is definitely growing a lot over the past season. Now, you said your first regional was in 2010. What got you into Pokemon? Because as far as I understand, you have not actually played a Pokemon video game. So, like, what drew you into Pokemon? Like, why did you pick Pokemon up as your TCG of choice?
So I have played Sword and Shield It took me a while to complete it. I did play it on stream. And yeah, it's the only video game I ever. I played like a little bit of Black and White back in the day. Like my siblings had like the Nintendo DS or whatever, and they played it. But yeah, I always had like Pokemon cards growing up. Me and my siblings did. And then when we moved, once we met a friend who not only had Pokemon cards but went to League. So they're like, hey, you guys like Pokemon cards? And we were like throughout this time where we had Pokemon cards and we'd like go get packs at the local game store or Walmart or whatever. We'd open up the packs. We liked the cards. We didn't really know how to play. We like invented our own games of how to play the game, of course, like everyone does. If you don't really know how to play, we didn't really know how to play. But then, we moved, met a new friend, and they not only had cards, but they also went to League. And they were like, "Well, you like Pokemon cards? I like Pokemon cards. You should come to League, hang out. It's really cool." And we were like, "Okay, cool." So we started going to League, and then we learned about tournaments. Back then, League challenges were called Battle Roads, and cups were called City Championships, and it was structured a little bit different. So we started going to those, more local tournaments, and then there were state championships back then as well, which is like a bigger local tournament. Everyone loves state championships. It's something people talk about all the time that they want to see brought back. And then, of course, there was regional championships and nationals back then instead of IC. So all the nationals were about the same time. You could only go to your national championships. And now we have the international championships, the ICs, which are definitely way better to have like that bigger competition. But yeah, just started to go into the tournaments and it kind of just built up from there. I won a couple big events throughout that time. And then when we got that big boost in the initial prize boost for regional championships and ICs became a thing, that's when like I really started to take it more seriously and kind of do it like full time. But yeah, I was just had a friend who went to League, and then we went to League, and I feel like that's how a lot of people get into Pokemon, like the competitive scene. It's like they have cards, they learn that you can play with them, and they're like, how do I get into it? And like League is going to your local league is like the best way to get into the Pokemon TCG. So anyone out there who's listening who like has cards, wants to learn how to play the game, just do a little research and like maybe get a decent deck together and then go look for a local league near you. There's like an event locator on the Pokemon.com or whatever. You can find like local leagues near you, and then just go hang out, meet some more people who just want to show up and play Pokemon.
Now, for those people at home that are looking into finding a league that they can play, what advice do you have for them to get started with learning how to play and just getting more familiar with everything to do with the TCG game?
Well, of course, I like promote myself a little bit. My YouTube channel and my live stream is GG on Twitch and YouTube, I guess. But also just going and doing a little research about like what decks are being played and kind of just finding a deck that looks cool to you. LimitlessTCG.com is a great resource in the competitive side of the Pokemon TCG. Shout out to Robin Schultz, not only put together a bunch of sites and stuff in the Pokemon TCG community, but also world champion in 2018. So shout out to Robin for putting all that work. And like, that's a great resource to start with, like limitlesstcg.com. It has all the major tournament past results and all the decks and deck lists that were played and who won and who did well, whatever. So start there, just look at some decks, get familiar with some cards. Like I said, great resources on like YouTube and Twitch. Like I said, my own stuff. There's people like Celia's Network, Little Dark Fury, Tricky Jim. Check them out. And just like start to like learn about the game a little bit more. And then when you get to the point where like you find a deck you want to play, you understand how to play, go play some games. If you don't play on PTCG Live already, go download PTCG Live, the online client for the Pokemon TCG. It's a little bit rough, but it gets the job done pretty well. And it's definitely improving quite a bit from where it started in its beta days. So yeah, go download PTCG Live, just start learning how to play the game, consume some content, and then look up that local league near you, and then start playing locally.
Now, for people that are trying to improve their gameplay, already figured out, where to learn more about the cards, which decks their favorite playstyle, what do you think is the most overlooked skill that can elevate someone to the next level? Is it just sheer amount of practice, working on time management, researching the meta, or do you think it's something else?
I think there's like a lot of mental hurdles and plateaus that players hit when playing something like the Pokemon TCG or other card games, even like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh, where they initially it seems like variants are a lot higher factor in the game than they actually are. And I think overcoming that mentally and having an understanding that there's a reason that the best players in the world consistently do well, and theoretically you could match their performances if you just learned how to play better and deck build and kind of meta call a little bit better. So I think it's a big step, like those mental hurdles of kind of removing the idea that RNG has more control over your results than it actually does, and really start focusing on where did I mess up, where are the mistakes I made. Maybe you did get unlucky, but if you had played better, maybe you getting unlucky in that situation would have actually mattered. So playing a lot of Pokemon is like the biggest thing that I tell people. You just got to play a lot of Pokemon, but you really got to enjoy the process of getting better at the game and not writing stuff off as being unlucky or being unfortunate, or no matter what you could have done, I think could have changed, right? Those are like big mental plateaus and hurdles that I feel like a lot of people struggle with as they go through their process of getting better at the game. And the people who stick through it will get better and will see that success that they really want to see. But it does take time. You have to have an understanding that there is like a very high ceiling in the Pokemon TCG, just like any of the other card games. And there is RNG. It's not chess, but it's not chess, but there definitely is a very large skill gap in the game to kind of overcome. And it's a little bit of everything, deck building, a little bit of meta analysis. Is the deck that you want to play good enough, or is there too many bad matchups in the meta? Maybe you should switch it up. And then playing well with a deck at the end of the day is the most important part. So what I've been telling a lot of people recently is just pick a good deck that isn't terrible in the meta. And as long as it's like a good tier 1, tier 2 deck, like, kind of universally people decide that this is definitely a tier 1, tier 2 deck, and you like it, then just play with it, get better at it, and kind of go from there.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that advice. Now, in terms of your gameplay, your practice style and everything, how has that developed since you got started back in the day?
So I actually, like, back in the day, my time these days has been a lot more consumed with the content creation side of things. So streaming and making videos is like where most, if not all, my time goes for Pokemon. So all the Pokemon that I actually play leading up to events is generally from what I play on my stream. And then I use that kind of information. I'm very good at like being as critical as I possibly can with the games I play on PTCG Live. When I'm streaming, I take as much out of it as I can. Like maybe I win a game, but I recognize my opponent misplayed, so it shouldn't be a win; it should be a loss. Or I misplayed, and I would have won the game if I didn't misplay. So instead of a loss, I kind of like mentally rack it up as a win, and then that can help me decide how good I think a deck is, or how good a deck actually plays into certain matchups. Because the quality of play on like something on PTCG Live isn't going to be as high as like me playing against one of my teammates, because we're all pretty high level players. So if I had more time to play more games with my teammates, then that'd be great. I actually think like back in the day, before I kind of did like the full-time content stuff, my like try hard testing was definitely more productive, and I did more of it. But now, yeah, content has kind of consumed my life. That, like I said, streaming and videos and everything like that. So I don't really have as much time for like the try hard testing as I would like. But like leading up to big events, like we had LAIC in November. So we all got into Brazil on like Tuesday. So those 3-4 days, we just grinding games of Pokemon leading up to the tournament. So for like the bigger events, try and make some time before the events, get there a little bit early, a couple days early. I have the luxury to be able to do that, and I actually use those, 72 hours or whatever it is to just grind games of Pokemon, try and figure out what we're actually going to play.
Wow, very, very dedicated, especially going up to events. I believe someone had mentioned in their recap of the event that you guys practiced like 40 hours going.
Yeah, it was a lot.
So it's definitely, I know for me, and that's another thing that separates high level players, is just being able to keep focused on everything.
Yeah, it's definitely and that's like a big thing with going to your first regional as well. You're playing day 1 is 9 rounds, best 2 out of 3, so potential for 27 games of Pokemon. But it's usually no matter how many games of Pokemon you play, it's going to be a 10, 11-hour day. And that's like very draining for people to like go through that experience. It's very much like building up the stamina to be able to play that much Pokemon for that long is definitely something that you definitely want to work on ahead of time. So trying to get those extra reps in, or force yourself to play those extra reps of Pokemon in a row on PTCG Live or in person at locals, or going to that many extra tournaments, trying to go to like the local challenges and cups before going to a regional. Also, in person is a lot different. Like post-COVID, there was a ton of people whose first tournament was a regional championship. They didn't go to any local tournaments. They didn't go to any league challenges or league cups. Just the first in-person tournament they had was a regional championship. So that's like a big leap. And I actually felt it when the first regional I played back in person, as well as Salt Lake City, a little while ago now. I felt it too. Like I sat down and shuffled up my deck for the first game, and I was like, well, this is just definitely just hits different, because I've been playing BTCG Live for the last couple of years because of COVID, so it definitely hits different. So yeah, getting some in-person games and trying to just like go through those longer bouts of Pokemon definitely can help you prepare yourself for the big regional days.
Yeah. Now, speaking of big regional days, is there a particular memory or like favorite moment you have from something that sticks out to you throughout your history of competitive play?
I would say actually a couple recently with me and the team, actually, where we had a couple fairly dominant performances. Unfortunately, we didn't win these events, but there was 3 of us in top 8 at Salt Lake City 2022, and then 3 of us in top 8 of Milwaukee 2023. regional championships, and those were like cool moments for me because that's kind of what I want to get out of the people I'm working with in the game and the team that we have is to like not just maybe win tournaments or do well at tournaments, but like hopefully attempt to dominate tournaments where there is like 3 of us in a top 8 of a regional championship. So like those 2 recently actually kind of stand out to me as something that stand out to me for sure as like a memory from a tournament recently. Like those are and that's what I want to try and replicate in the future with the team as well with future upcoming major tournaments. We've had like kind of a rough start this season, but there's still a lot of season to go.
For sure, for sure. Now, we've talked about some of your favorite moments, but do you have a favorite deck or a favorite meta that you've played in throughout the years? I know new sets come out every few months and there's always new ideas coming into the game, but I'm curious as to your thoughts.
Whenever I get asked that question, I can't say for sure this is my favorite deck, but whenever I see people ask that question, the deck I always kind of go back to is Regigigas Level X, which is a deck back in 2011. 2011 was a little bit weird because we had a mid-season rotation, which I think is the only time that's ever happened. So for the first part of the season, that was the deck I was playing, and I really enjoyed that deck, the Regigigas Level X deck. That's the one I always go back to is Regigigas Level X. I don't know. I thought about it a little bit harder. I maybe would have a couple of decks that compete against that for being that. But whenever I think about decks that I really enjoyed playing, that was definitely one that stands out to me. As far as meta goes, to be honest, the metas I like the most is whatever retro decks people show up with at major events and I get to play with. That's kind of those are like going back and playing. I just like playing Pokemon, but playing it in the same format over and over does get a little boring. So there's people in the community who have like pretty big retro deck collections, and they'll sometimes bring them to like regional championships and let people play with them. So whatever format I just get to play in retro decks is always a good time. So it doesn't matter what meta of Pokemon it is, as long as it's different from standard, because I play so much standard format, then it's usually going to be like my favorite way to play Pokemon.
Very cool. Kind of going off of that, if you were to have like a special tournament where you can make all the rules for it, do you have like a particular form you'd like it to be? Like maybe a format or certain key things affecting the deck, something like that?
Maybe doing something around trying out like first of all, I like that idea of double elimination bracket. That's always kind of cool to me. So double elimination bracket style tournament, maybe some kind of high invitational tournament, maybe with like high level players, of course, and then maybe like with the purpose of like testing out a mulligan system. Pokemon doesn't have a mulligan system like most other card games, like they do in Yu-Gi-Oh, Hearthstone, Magic. They all got mulligan systems, even like One Piece, and they've been like more and more. The mulligan systems Pokemon has no mulligan system, and I feel like as new card games come out, the mulligan systems are more and more forgiving. Because I think One Piece's mulligan system is like you draw 5 or 7, you can put as many as you back on the bottom of the deck, and then draw that many or something. So it's basically like, and that's like Hearthstone's as well, I believe, is like similar to that. So maybe testing some kind of mulligan system in Pokemon would be like something that would be like if we're gonna run a tournament and we can like do whatever we want with it. We can play standard or maybe a retro format, but like add a mulligan system in it just to see how it feels and see how it goes. I think that's something that's kind of lacking in the Pokemon TCG. It would be cool to have. Would be an optional mulligan on like that first turn of the game. Even if you have a basic Pokemon in your hand, you can send those 7 cards back to the deck once per game, and then get a fresh hand, and your opponent still draws that extra card. But that way, you don't open with like Luminian and 6 energy or something ridiculous.
That would also make it more interesting for like stream matches. If you open up a hand and it's playable, but it's not really playable, it really affects the game.
Yeah, exactly. We get more games of Pokemon, which I think everyone kind of wants to see, is just playing more games of Pokemon. It would be like another little level to, the strategy and the depth of the game as well. Like sometimes you'd have an okay hand, but maybe depending on the matchup, that okay hand is not good enough. Like to beat this matchup consistently, you need a good hand. So like to mulligan. So it would up the skill gap in the game as well. It would add more depth to it overall. So I think it would overall just kind of be a plus. More people will be playing more games of Pokemon because there's some very obvious dead hands. But then when you have the hand that's kind of in between, okay, like bad and good, then like that becomes the question of like, is this worth mulliganing to potentially get a worst hand?
Now, leading into the next question, if something were to happen in the future to the game, what would you like to see going forward? Would it be maybe more hand interaction, something like less hand interaction, a new concept? What would you like to see? I know we just touched on perhaps adding a mulligan, but anything else that you would like to see out of the game in the future?
This is something I don't really think about too much. I will say though, since we've gotten more evolution decks in the format, I guess, of late, stage 2 decks, Gardevoir, Charizard, those have definitely been more enjoyable to have around the format. So I would say more evolutions. I think we are trending towards that direction as well, or at least more of a mix of that. Yeah, like I always say, one thing I always say about like my favorite format of the Pokemon TCG is always the next format, or just like any other format that's not currently standard. So, and I've generally been a big fan of what they've been coming out with recently. Prior to Scarlet and Violet, it was a little bit rough, I think, overall. But yeah, the ideas that they've come out with recently post Scarlet and Violet, and the ace specs are guaranteed on the way at some point in the first major set or second major set of the new block or whatever going into next year. So we'll have ace specs coming out soon, which will be cool. Ace specs are cool cards. So I mean, I think they're on good track. So whatever they keep coming out with, I'm happy. If they stay on this track, that's what I kind of want to see. Is I'm staying on this track because I feel like we're on a good route right now.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your insight. That's all I have for you question-wise today, but is there anything that you'd like to mention to wrap things up?
No, I don't think I have anything. I appreciate you having me on, and yeah, hopefully look forward to coming back maybe sometime.
And just to remind everyone watching, where can they find you? And is there a way for them to reach out if they need like extra help with coaching or just general contacts?
Yeah, you can, I'm on YouTube and Twitch at AzulGG, and then you can find me on Twitter, Azul_GG, unfortunately. And my DMs are open over there. So my DMs are open. And if you find my Discord as well, it's AzulGG, and my DMs are open on the Discord as well. So you can always send me a message about pretty much literally anything, and I'll try and get back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Best of luck that everything goes your way and goes well for the team this weekend, and safe travels.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much again, Azul, for making time to come speak with us here and play that interview for you all. I hope that you all enjoyed it. Now, got some breaks to get on into, but how did you guys enjoy that interview? Would you like to see more like that in the future? I hope you say yes. But I want to see your feedback, because as I always mention during these episodes, I want to make content that you all enjoy. So always, if you have any suggestions, once we get to the community spotlight, of course, I always show the Card Connection email, cardconnection@cgccards.com. That is also in the description down below. If you ever have any ideas you'd love to share, make sure you go ahead and reach out at that contact point. Great interview. Good job. Thanks, Sally. Enjoyed the interview. More, please. Oh, I appreciate the feedback. Thank you so much, everyone. Now we'll get into breaks. More! But yes, we do have some fun openings. I personally am historically known as a heritage hater, because I have a hard time telling the variants. It's a skill issue. It's a personal problem. And I'm especially excited for Guilty Gear Strive. Guilty Gear Strive is an English edition original. What that means is Bushiroad does release most of their sets over in Japan first, and then a select amount do end up getting relicensed and translated for release in the United States. Now, not every set makes it over from Japan to the US, so to kind of have it go the other way around, there are some sets, usually a couple per year, that are released in the States, and then there's some USA exclusives, some Japan exclusives. So Guilty Gear is the newest of that. Of course, that is a very, very, very popular 2D fighting game. You can play that on Steam, on the Switch, I think PS4, PS5, Xbox, lots of places you guys can check out the video game. Here we have the card game. So I am going to use my privilege to open up Guilty Gear first. Then we'll finish off with Heritage High Number afterwards. So, alrighty. I also, fun news that's not necessarily relevant to the opening, is I did get out a measuring tape today and order a new, what is this called? A new stand that is long enough that I can attach back here so that I can adjust the camera to have it wider. So hopefully that'll be all set to go next week. No promises, but I'm excited for that. Technology upgrade. Yay! Alrighty. Cute promo. To start things off, And of course, if you are not following CGC Cards on social media, sometimes some of the crazy pulls we get will get used in giveaways, but currently the 12 Days of Christmas giveaways are going on Instagram that I've seen, so make sure you are following us on social media to potentially win some really awesome cards. One of the giveaway item posts today was involving you commenting your favorite team and tagging some friends, was showing off a Ronald Acuna and an Ohtani card. So if you all want to check that out, make sure you use the command social. Or if you're like, Allie, I don't want to see all of them, I just want Instagram in particular, you can use the command Instagram as well. Or whatever, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, if you're fancier than me. TikTok's too modern for me, I don't understand it. Alright, seeing some cards that I like already. We have Unji, Fan Dancer for our first rare. This set does have a secret rare with the creator of Guilty Gear's signature stamped on it. We have double R, Kai, Sword of Justice. Double R stands for double rare. There are overframe rares and special rares. So those are SBs. So secret, special, and overframe. For your fancier pulls, then you can also get triple Rs, which are triple rares. Those are fully foil. And SRs, which are super rares. Milia, Winger, rare. Giovanna Ventania, rare. We have our first foil of the box. We have Potemkin, Heavenly Potemkin Buster. That is an SR foil. Typically 1 to 2 foils in a box of white shorts. However, this is the first one that I'm opening of this set. Sometimes sets that are quite large can have 2 guaranteed foils. I've seen up to 3 guaranteed foils in a box. So not quite sure. We may have 1 more. We may have 2 more in this box. We may have 0 more. Only time will tell. We do have a triple R here. So a second foil, Overdrive, Winger. Love how beautiful that art is. So we do have a second foil. All right, now the question remains if we'll find a third. Chip, Ninja President, rare. Alright, the last pack for the first half of this box, double R. Nagoriyuki, Vampire Samurai. Faust, Beginning Operation, rare. Alright, to the second half. Happy Chaos, Unpredictable Menace, rare. One null, crushing power. Looks like we do have something else in here. Curious. Looks like it might be a double R. Yep, there are no regular rare. Gold Lewis, Secretary of Defense. In a slightly different spots, as we do have a Climax Rare and a Climax Common in this pack. Usually just get one of those cards per pack. Either or, typically. We do have Ramlethal, Brigadier of Illyria, double R. That is a nice card. Quite powerful soul, hastily summoned. Some of the chase cards out of this set include, of course, that secret rare with the really cool signature stamp, but also the Ramlethal and Baiken higher rarity foil parallels, like the SPs and overframes. Powerful archetypes from this release. Coincidentally, also, right here in Baiken Avenging Swordswoman, some of the first previewed cards when Bushiroad was having sorted influencers and content creators show off the cards from this release. Ramlethal Valentine, rare. Alright, 2 packs to go. You have rare Nagoriyuki, Wasuruyuki. Like the Great Wave there in the background. Really neat art. Let's actually take another look at that. Love that visual style. Alright, last pack of the box. We do have Baiken Samurai Slasher, rare. Alrighty. So, 1 SR, 1 triple R. So 1 super rare, 1 triple rare, 2 foils in total. So that leads me to believe that we'll be seeing 1 or 2 foils per box instead of 3. Usually really large sets will see 3 per box, like the Hololive releases or the quintessential quintuplets, where those sets having at or over 100 different foil parallels in the product. So that does not appear to be the case here. Would need to increase my sample size, however. But let's take a look. We did have Overdrive Winger, triple R, and Potemkin, Heavenly Potemkin Buster, SR. For our promo, had the SD Testaments. Cute chibi. And this is a set with a lot of double Rs. I was reading feedback from people opening up full cases that you cannot get 2 play sets out of a case. Since there are so many double Rs, you do end up short. So what that means is you will not get 8 copies of each double R in a case. Play sets for White Shorts are 4 copies of a card. Yu-Gi-Oh! A play set's 3. Seems like most TCGs play sets 4. That applies here to Weiss as well. But you can only make 1 complete play set in a full 18-box case. So double R's also in demand. Alrighty, Heritage, my favorite. I love Heritage. High number in particular. But now Heritage High Number 2023 here. 1 on-card autograph or relic card in every box. Most of the time you are finding a relic. However, you of course find those real 1 autographs of rookies. Something very fun about Heritage. Hopefully we see some cool variants as well. How many high numbers are we going to find in high number? That is the question. Something that gets confusing about Heritage and Heritage High Number. Regular Heritage comes out earlier in the season, and then there are high number short prints on top of your base set that have higher pull rates, or harder to pull rates, so the pull rates are lower, the high numbers of the set is different from Heritage High Number. And then Heritage High Number also has high number short prints. If you're a set collector of Heritage, it gets a little crazy. Let's take a look at our box loader here with the facsimile. That's not a real autograph there. Masataka Yoshida, the Red Sox. It says box loader. Alright, so 9 cards per pack. Hopefully, I will spot all the high numbers. In high number, it should be typically 701 through 725. We'll find out. Alrighty. Horizontal cards. I'll separate out the rookies because it's an ingrained habit that I can't kick. There's a piece of shrink wrap top stuff on my hand. We have the hammer insert. Cool. Hank Aaron, the hammer. So what card number was that in the pack? That was card number 5. Good to know. Good to know. Kyle Stowers rookie. Looks like it says 2025 on the back. No, it's 2023. 2023. Next year, I'll have the 1975 design. So how Heritage works is it has a throwback design. So these cards originally, the design was originally used before my time. So, Clubhouse, Connect, maybe. Insert name is slipping my minds. Atlanta's tried and true, Austin Riley and Raul Acuna. From far away, it looked like a 5. Josh Jung, now and then inserts. Clayton Kershaw. Blake Perkins rookie. Joey Ortiz. Medina. Oh, what do we have here? Looks like a chrome card. We have Home Run Special. Thought it was thicker, was not. So this is card number 100. Home Run Special, Roger Maris and Aaron Judge. Card number 100 should not be in high number. Should be 501 through 700, I believe. Curious as to what that is. It must be some sort of short prints, maybe an insert. Go ahead and sleeve it up. Do some more research on that after the stream. Curious as to what that is. I thought it was a thicker stock chrome card. Was not. Four. Randy Vasquez, high number rookie. Stone Garrett's our first high number of the box of high number. So I guess they're all high numbers, but I digress. Volpe rookie. Lindgren rookie. Hedrick rookie. Rookie performers insert, Yoshida. Like that design on that insert a lot. I like the color. I like it. Is it a reverse? Oh, like a flip stock? I don't think so. It's still the same number. The little tiny code down here, it ends. They both end in 445, like the base, it doesn't feel like a flip stock. One thing that has happened before with Heritage and Heritage High Number is sometimes there's accidents when printing the set and some cards are missed in Heritage, and then Topps includes them in Heritage High Number. Maybe card number 100 earlier this year just didn't get printed. Could be that. Could be that. I don't know. Does not appear to be any other kind of variation, like a logo swap or anything like that. Jordan Walker, rookie. Senga. It's listed on Topps' checklist as baseball update set. Interesting. Stuart Fairchild, high number. Oh, here's our chrome of the box. Grayson Rodriguez, Brett Sullivan, Kevin Newman. Number 70 of 274. Chrome. I'm guessing silver, based on the border color. Decently low numbered. Still have not seen our hits of the box. Should be one auto or relic. However, I have pulled both an auto and a relic out of Heritage and Heritage High Number before in one box. Patrick Bailey, high number rookie. Mr. Casas with the long hair. Award winners insert, Buck Showalter. Alright, we are almost halfway through the box. Do have Clubhouse Collection, O'Neal Cruz, game used memorabilia relic for the Pirates. Most likely our one and only hits of the box, however, only time will tell. It looks like we're probably getting a relic and no auto, but you never know until it's over. O'Neal Cruz, Clubhouse Collection. John Gray, high number. No high number there, just an insertless pack. Interesting. Pedersen, high number. I would like to see another Rookie Performers insert. I really like that design. Speaking of liking things, if you all are having fun tonight, we would greatly appreciate it for you to hit the like button. Might be a variation, that's true, I should go back and check. I'm used to the variations being denoted around the number. I believe they were all rookies that we ran into. 1974 highlights, Tony Oliva inserts. I'll look through our inserts, or our rookies rather, see if we had any variations. However, Topps has been very good about, over the past several years, putting the name of the variation on the card itself. So it should be easier to spot. But also, not only that, excuse me, that's a little redundant. Looking for the name of the spot, but also putting the card in the pack backwards. Like how that number 100 was backwards. Estevez, high number. JJ Bleday, rookie. There's a horn honking outside for some reason. Beep, beep. 1974 highlights, Nolan Ryan. A lot of rookie cards in this box. A lot of rookie cards so far. Alright, down to the last quarter. Yoshida rookie. Salazar, high number. Rookie performers, Zach Neto. Alright, 2 packs remain here. And we'll get into our recap. Backwards, backwards. Another home run special. Ooh, black border. So not numbered, but should be limited to 50 copies. Something that's interesting about Heritage is the no numbered cards. So should be limited to 50 there. It was interesting. The year that the throwback design had black borders, the no number cards were white instead of black. Whereas normally it's the black parallels that limited to 50 but not stamped. Interesting. All right, final pack, final pack. Do-do-do-do. Soriano, high number. And another rookie to finish off the box. All right, let me move this out of the way. So for reference, here's our pile of regular base non-rookies. And here's our pile of rookie base cards. We did have some rookies and some non-rookies in the short prints. Excluding those, here's the different sizes in the piles. It's a lot of rookies in one box. So if you're someone that just likes collecting rookies, definitely seems like a nice product. Heritage is a set more so for set collectors than, say, breakers. Due to there being more inserts, a lot of base cards to put together to make a complete set, especially between Heritage and Heritage High Number. 700 cards. Well, 725 cards with all of the short prints. 8 high number short prints. 1 now and then inserts. 1 award winner inserts. 1 of the CC inserts. 1 the hammer. 2 1974 highlights, and 2 rookie performers. We also had the no number black parallel home run special, Roger Maris and Aaron Judge, card number 100. And that same card, non-parallel. 1 chrome card, we had the Kevin Newman, number 274. Our hits of the box. Did have Clubhouse Collection Relics. This is game-used memorabilia from O'Neill Cruz. not from any specific game, event, or season. Yep, that is the disclaimer on the back. And then our box topper here. Of course, printed on signature, that is not hand-signed. Masataka Yoshida, rookie for the Red Sox. It's fun. It was fun. It's fun. Heritage in small doses, I enjoy. I will say that. With that does wrap off our openings tonight. A lot of fun getting into that Guilty Gear Strive, brand new English edition original from White Schwartz, and of course, Heritage High Number Baseball. But something, you know, all these openings are fun. I love getting into new products and sharing them with you all. I'm sure you all enjoy watching them and trying to get some of these cards in our giveaways. But one of my favorite things of Card Connection is the Community Spotlight segments. Let's go ahead and sashay over here. And tonight's, I believe, are all different kinds of Pokemon cards. So if you'd like to maybe get a future feature in the Community Spotlight here, you can send a picture and description to the email address in the description down below, cardconnection@cgccards.com, or go ahead and tag us on Instagram. You can use the hashtag MyCGCSlab as well on Instagram. I peruse that as well, looking for posts with that hashtag, or just tag us at CGC Cards. All right, first up tonight, what do we got? We have an interesting Pokemon card. This is a little square card, rounded corners, little lenticular piece. This is a Sableye. We got 3 eyes emojis. Looking at it here, this was posted by Fabian P at Ponce_TCG on Instagram. I like seeing some stuff that's not very common. So I saw this Sableye. I was like, Sableye's cool. He collects gems. He lives in caves. I kind of hang out in a cave-like environment, aside from having the ring light on 1 hour a week. I relate. And I thought that was really neat. This is very cool. Sometimes I see Pokemon cards, especially looking, you know, perusing and seeing the cool images that are getting updated on the CGC Cards population report on the website. And it's like, oh, I didn't realize those were gradable. I didn't realize those were licensed and official. You can discover some really neat sets that you might not have known a whole lot about by just hanging out and looking through the pop report as well. I would recommend it. I've done that before. It's cool. Yeah, it's a little card like this. Of course, it sits in the holder. It's, you know, kind of floating there in the middle. But very cool. Thank you, Fabian, for posting and allowing us to share. Fabian also had a lot of other cool little lenticular cards in beautiful grades as well. But getting into a very rare Rayquaza from the Diamond, Pearl, Platinum era of Pokemon, notoriously difficult to grade. A lot of the reverse holos had a lot of surface issues straight out of the pack fresh, scratched. Just the way cards were produced back in 2008 to like 2010 or so. Rayquaza Legends Awaken Reverse with the graded guard, CGC Cards Pop 1. This is from Pokejon PDX at Pokejon PDX on Instagram. I needed to, you know, quote the post in its entirety. You can just ignore the last line here. But is very hard to get in a high grade. Rayquaza is one of my favorite legendary Pokemon. It's a sky snake. He's from space, kind of, sort of, but not really. He's cool, and he's green, my favorite color. So I love that there. Cool in the graded guard, the little sleeve around the slab. 9.5 mint plus, beautiful Rayquaza. And another beautiful card to wrap off our community spotlight. If I could press the mouse button, here we go. This mouse, like the buttons sometimes don't work. It's annoying. But we do have this beautiful art rare Magikarp. Was actually something that was really, really difficult to pull out of Triplet Beats, but also Paldea Evolved, that's Alt Art Magikarp. So here from Gavin D at Gavazard666 on Instagram, for me, the best artwork of 2023. Great conversation piece here as what's your favorite from a year of fantastic Pokemon? I really like the blister promo of Paldean Wooper. chats, I'm curious, what was your favorite arts of the year? We're all out of new Pokemon sets to release until 2024, so we could do like a year-end recap of what your favorites Pokemon arts were this year. I did see, actually, it did make the news because it wasn't a limited promo, but some of the images of Pokemon releases for early next year starting to come out. There is a Pikachu box coming around, probably associated with Easter, that has a Pikachu promo that looks pretty cute, and also like a little squishy toy, which last time Pokemon had squishy toys was like some mythical collection where it had like a little Victini, a Celebi, and a Mew, which I have those. They're not, don't let them get dusty, they get gross. But I like the little minifigures and stuff in boxes. So I'll probably pick up one of those. The cute Pikachu coming out for Easter next year. But Kimasobe says, I love that alt art. Acorn says, doing some interesting art stuff with Pokemon lately. Sue says, my son pulled this card from a pack in the Pokemon holiday calendar. You know, that reminds me, I actually have one of those. I need to open it. I got it, because even though the stamps, there's like a little snowflake on them for the holiday calendar, for the cards inside. I wasn't crazy about any of the cards included, but I wanted the shiny Snom coin. So I bought it. Any new graded cards in my collection? Not right now. I'm wanting to go through my collection and find some stuff to get graded, though. So, on my to-do list. Maybe I'll do it next year. I have so much stuff to do. Alright, beautiful Magikarp. I like Magikarp. Magikarp's oddly relatable. Am I gonna grade the coin? PMG currently doesn't grade coins like that. They grade real coins. Who knows what the future holds? I don't. It was interesting though. Graded flip coins. I have some really cool, really old black and white era coins because I used to buy blister packs, not for promos. Like now I pick because I like the promos, but also if the coin was cool, I'd be like, oh, I want to collect it. So I have a lot of like Team Plasma coins and stuff like that. Really neat. I gotta find them. I know they're in like a little, I have them all in like a bag. I gotta find it. Maybe that'd be interesting content someday. But, Community Spotlight, if you're like, man, that Magikarp was cool, but I have this card, and it's so much cooler than that Magikarp. Allie, you need to put me on a Community Spotlight. Go ahead and reach out at cardconnection@cgccards.com. You can send me an email. No one has sent me an email. The only email in this inbox I've gotten is the test I sent from my other email to this Card Connection email. So if you have suggestions, questions, cards to share, topic ideas, people you'd like to see on the show as a guest, go ahead and reach out. cardconnection@cgccards.com. Daniel says, I like the Spotlight segment. I do too. It's fun. I love looking at what everyone's excited to post, and then I love reaching out for things that I try to get a variety. Tonight was all Pokemon, but I try to get a mix of some really cool stuff that just speaks to me throughout the week. Would like to do more if I can find a way to have a longer Community Spotlight segment. I mean, I know it's just doing more, but you know how stuff takes time. But yeah, I really enjoy it. I love taking a look at it. I love seeing people excited about either new purchases or new grade returns that they then share with everyone. And then I get to go ahead and share with all of you, courtesy of everyone with those cards in the first place. But yes, questions, suggestions, anything to share, go ahead and reach out. Emails up here and in the description down below, but slightly above the description is the like button. If you guys had fun tonight, make sure you go ahead and gently caress it once. If you do it twice, it will unlike the video. So if you've already hit like, you don't need to do it again. But if you had fun, we really appreciate that feedback from you all. I really appreciate it. I like taking a look at which of these episodes that you all have enjoyed and trying to take out the best parts of all of them and put it together to make even greater content in the future. I know the segment's new. I know the channel's still growing. Interestingly enough, I saw actually today, not from when I started, but in general, it is the channel's birthday. This CGC Cards channel is a birthday anniversary today on YouTube. Happy happy birthday, channel. I like interesting YouTube factoids it throws at me on the analytics page. But yes, want to hear your feedback, so if you did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button. And if you're not yet parts of the subscriber force here on YouTube, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing, you don't miss any of the streams, you don't miss any of the really cool uploads throughout the week. Recently we did have, of course, that Magic the Gathering graded alpha set. That video really took off last weekend. A lot of people chatting about that. Really cool complete set of alpha in CGC card holders. If you all haven't watched that video yet, I really do recommend it. Very nice interview between our very own Matt Quinn and the owner of the cards. His name is Steve. So definitely check that out. But yeah, want to make more content for you all, especially going into 2024. So make sure you join us for the ride. You can't say that you're one of the first 1,000, but you can say you're under 2,000. You can get bragging rights in the future. But appreciate it very much. But with that, that does wrap off everything I have for you all this evening. Really hope that you all enjoyed it. Thank you again, Azul, for carving out some time to come speak with us. And make sure you all support Team CGC Cards this weekend, the San Antonio Regional Championships, by watching the live streams on YouTube or Twitch. And of course, you can go ahead and follow the team Twitter accounts. If you use command Team CGC, the bot will drop the link for there if you're curious to check out the team deck lists and hear first look at event results and feelings from our team members over there. Yes, first 1.25K bragging rights. But thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. The first email's there. I will fix that. Streamlabs messes with the description sometimes. It autofills. That email works too, though. But I will go ahead and update that once we're done here. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Happy holidays. Lots of holidays going on this time of year, so I'm just being generic. And yes, next Friday, though, even though it's 22nd, we'll still be here for episode 6 unless I vanish off the face of the earth. So, hope you all will be able to tune in then, but if not, I know it's holiday weekend. I expect it might be a little quieter in chats. But appreciate you all tuning in tonight. Take care. Have a wonderful weekend. And I hope you all will join us in the next episode of Card Connection. Bye.